IMPD's crime lab and arson investigators are still here. Just in the past 2 minutes, crews took a dog inside this duplex.
Jessica, did Fogel say anything on his way in?
No, he did not say a word. He just walked straight into the courtroom. When he was asked what he'd like to say to victims or to the judge, he just kept looking straight ahead. You need a code to open up the vaults, and once the key's outside, this light starts flashing to remind first responders to put it back. You can also see over here where the tree came down. You can see it took down a light pole as well. I'm shining the flashlight on it here, so hopefully you can get a better look at it.
Even this whole box of 6 pills won't do it.
Photographer Kevin and I both have our tickets because this is the biggest jackpot in Powerball history.
And that's why this was causing all of the problems. You can see this pole here. It doesn't have anything on it right now, but there used to be a stop sign.
The good news is all of the kids that were on this bus when it wrecked are going to be okay. The snow really did start to lighten up in the past 10 minutes or so. When we first walked out of INDOT, it was coming down very hard.
And we'll redo the front porch.
This skeleton of a house may not look like much, but Linda Ostwig sees beyond the rundown frame.
The need for women in recovery is huge, especially in our county. There's nowhere to go.
For her, that problem is personal. Her daughter battled addiction for 12 years.
You feel hopeless, and you feel scared, and you don't sleep.
I was just on a path of pure destruction and really ruining everyone in my way.
Sober for 3 years, Kara Cole and her mom decided to turn this donated home into a safe place for Hancock County women to start their recovery.
If I just had a place that people were coming alongside of me and kind of ushering me through the darkness, it would have helped me.
Back here,
women will stay in the home after being released from jail, rehab, or even off the street if they've been clean for at least a week.
This was her senior picture. She was 18.
Darlene Hatfield says a home like this may have saved her daughter Ashley, who died of an overdose just 2 years ago.
And Ashley could get any drug that she wanted in this county, but she couldn't get any help.
While Janet Decker hopes the home could help her daughter, who still struggles.
You don't want to lose somebody, and I've almost lost someone.
In this home, women will learn how to mend relationships, handle finances, and care for kids. They'll learn who they are and who they can be sober.
I mean, just like this house, the destruction of it, the unfinished of it, that's the women that we're going to get. And when this gets rebuilt and looks beautiful, that's exactly what's going to happen to the women's lives.
The group is hosting a fundraiser in April to raise money and recruit volunteers to come renovate the home. We did talk to a therapist in the Hancock County courts, and she says there is a huge need for a home like this. We have much more information about it on our website, wishtv.com. We'll send it back to you. Good morning. Some districts say they are so desperate they're hiring people who haven't even been through student teaching. I talked to schools all around central Indiana, and the majority of them agree hiring teachers this year has been harder than ever before.
Together, chest out.
It's the time of year filled with new friends, new classrooms, and new teachers. But some students are starting out with a substitute and may not meet their actual teacher until next month.
It's never quite the same. If they don't have that teacher standing in front of them from the very first day, to be able to get off on a great start and to be able to work through the curriculum right off the bat from day one.
This is the first year Wayne Township has ever started the school year with open teaching positions. They're consolidating classes and asking teachers to take on extra periods.
It really is a challenge, and we're asking our teachers to do more and more in the classroom. We're asking them to serve their children in much different ways.
Schools all over central Indiana are scrambling to find enough teachers, especially in science, math, and special education. The applicants just aren't there.
There have been the reduction in enrollments not only at IUPUI, but in all schools of education across the state and nationally.
In 2010, a little more than 5,900 people in Indiana received teacher's licenses. In 2013, that number dropped near 4,500.
I think this is just the tip if we don't do something to really demonstrate that we do value the work that teachers do as a state.
We believe in risk.
Education has been at the center of controversy at the State House. Fights over funding, standardized testing, and the attempt to strip State Superintendent Glenda Ritz of her power.
who can say that the state actually respects the profession? That's what we need to do, not just in communities and in words, but in actual actions that start at the top with the governor.
I am pleased that in this last session of the General Assembly, we made a historic commitment to traditional education.
Now, 2 Republican lawmakers have called for a study to find out what's behind the teacher shortage, but many teachers say they already know.
The legislators need to think about the laws that they've passed that have created this sense among a new generation that maybe I don't want to choose that profession.
What we want to do is better understand whether some of these early numbers of declining participation represent a trend, and I don't want to prejudge the source of that.
In the meantime, districts like Wayne Township are working to solve the problem themselves.
Getting the positive word out, telling people what actually happens in the classroom, letting people know that education is a tremendously rewarding profession. It's a great vocation.
Wayne Township is working on a marketing campaign to attract new teachers. Plus, it's been very busy on social media promoting all the good happening inside its classrooms. We have much more information about this issue on our website, wishtv.com.
Corey Farrell.
I've been addicted to heroin for about 5 years now.
Rihanna Cook.
I'm an addict. I'm a heroin addict.
Christopher Williams.
Meth and heroin.
Different ages and different backgrounds, but the stories
started out in high school on Vicodins.
Of how they got here,
the pain pills,
all sound the same.
A little bit of pills here and there.
They remember the first time they crossed that line.
The one drug that I said I'd never do ended up being heroin.
2007, that was the first time I got high on heroin.
Like many addicts, one time was all it took.
And once I started using the needle, there was no coming back.
It was just like a snowball, a snowball downhill.
Cook has been in and out of jail since 2013 for using and selling drugs, but heroin has held her captive for nearly a decade.
It takes over completely. You're thinking the way you think. Physically, it takes over. It makes you sick if you don't have it. It makes you crazy if you don't have it.
Cook is mom to 4 kids. Her youngest child visits her occasionally, but she doesn't see her oldest, her 15-year-old daughter.
She thinks that I have chose drugs over her entire life. And that's not the case. It doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate how much I love or care for my kids or want to be there. Something takes over me.
They all range from 13 to 6 years old.
Williams is a parent too. He still can't believe how quickly his life crumbled.
6 months ago, I never had a needle in my arm.
The second time he shot up was almost his last.
All I know is I came to in the back of an ambulance, asked the ambulance driver what happened, and he said, your heart stopped, you were dead, and you were blue.
What goes through your mind when you think about that, the fact that you were dead?
It messes with your head, because I got 3 daughters. How could they go through life without a father? Or knowing the fact that, hey, my dad was a drug addict.
But that fact didn't change a thing.
I still got out and did it again.
You're playing with death every time you shoot up.
Farrell can name 10 friends who heroin has killed.
What's real terrible is if you have a buddy OD, the first thing you want to know is where he got his at.
With a now clear mind behind bars, he relives that desperation that drove him to extremes.
Took an axe and chopped my finger off. You're gonna do what you want. You're not gonna be sick. Yeah, I went straight to the hospital and gave me Dilaudid.
The scar is a constant reminder of the desire that he knows will never go away.
When they say it's very addictive or the feeling of it is like no other, they're not lying. I mean, it will grab a hold of you and keep you in its grips.
They warn heroin's high trumps the fear of death and the loss of those you love.
It's taken my life, my dignity, my family.
It's like co-signing your life over to the devil and not having no control over it.
Inside, they're still powerless. This time with no choice but to stay clean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And nothing but time to wonder what will happen when they get out.
Door 7 going to door 9.
What do you think it'll take
for you to quit for good?
I don't know. I really don't.
As they sit and think about their future, all 3 inmates say in some way they're grateful to be in jail. I'll explain why, coming up at 6 o'clock.